Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
All right, speaking of the Huskies, big win. No, not really. Not really a big win. They beat Georgetown today. A crappy Georgetown team that's going to take time for Ed Cooley to rebuild them. Well, they are. They're not good.
Yeah.
Listen, they're not good. Period. I think Cooley will get them good. It's just going to take a little bit longer than I think any of us thought, because I think a lot of us thought he could flip it quickly like Pitino did at St. John's, right? Flip the roster, bring in a good amount of talent, coach them up, and have them where they're an NCAA tournament team or close to it. Well, they're probably not going to be an NIT team. UConn wins without the big boy again. Donovan Clingan's been out for the last couple of weeks with that foot injury in the loss to Seton Hall on December 20th. He warmed up today. That's the good news for UConn. That's the good news. He warmed up before the game, and Dan Hurley said after the game, we're on Kling Kong watch this week, meaning he may come back. Maybe Creighton on Wednesday at home, maybe Saturday at Nova, but he's getting close, and that's huge because here's the difference with this UConn team now when he comes back. Alex Karaban, shooting the hell out of it now. Remember, like early in the season, he was hurt with a finger injury. Couldn't make a shot from three. Now, Karaban and Spencer cannot miss. These dudes are elite level shooters. Tristan Newton's not shooting it that well, but he's doing everything else. Right? He rebounds his position, gets everybody else the ball where they need to, understated in how he does it. No, by the way, Steph Castle, their talented freshman, who again gives him something different, an athletic wing. He scored in double figures the last 4 games. So when Kling Kong comes back, and if he's healthy with that foot, which, again, is a big if right now. We don't know. He's been dealing with these foot injuries here, it seems like, for the last 3-4 months. I think UConn puts himself right with Purdue as 1A and 1B. How much faith do you have in this UConn team, McCall, and how concerned are you about Clingan and whether or not he's going to deal with these issues the last couple months of the year?
He looked pretty good. I mean, the clips on the TV today when he was warming up out there, I mean, he was moving well. I think it's just super impressive to see what they've been able to do without him in the lineup. I really do. And, beating St. John's, DePaul, Butler, Xavier, Georgetown, it's super impressive to see what they've been able to do without him. And now you're going to add him back into the mix. Now that throws, from a coaching standpoint, and Coach Hurley knows this, a different dynamic because roles are going to be different because he's going to be out there. And, guys that are maybe playing significant minutes right now, their minutes may decrease when he comes back in, but you need him back out there. But it's just super impressive to see that they've just kept it rolling. They kept it rolling. And I know we talk about UConn a lot, but I don't know if we talk about them enough in terms of just we get so, all up in arms when, Purdue drops their game to Nebraska, or, oh my gosh, Houston loses the other night. They're the number 2 team in the country. Oh, Kansas goes and, loses at UCF. I can't believe that happened. This is unbelievable. And then what happens? Without Donovan Clingan, UConn winning games. Just kind of status quo. So, look, they shot it ridiculously tonight. I thought Coach Hurley was definitely going to get teed up at the end of the first half when they called a foul on Karaban. I was like, how did he not get teed up? Especially because I think he was pretty.
It's kind of amazing.
But he sat down and he kind of grabbed his
amazing?
Chair. As a coach, if you sit down and you're screaming, but you're grabbing your chair, maybe I should have done that more. And I would have got teed up less. Like, just sit down and grab your chair and don't flail your arms, because he wasn't doing. He just sat down and then he leaned up against the scorer's table and crossed his arms like that. But again, just super impressive.
Well, that's what the Hurleys do. I don't know if you've watched Bobby. But when they get close to refs now, they put their arms behind their back, and I wonder if that's a dad thing. If Big Bob told them or what happened. But now both of them, if you look at Bobby and he gets all he throws his arms behind his back just to make sure.
I mean, maybe the refs, that's okay. Maybe you're allowed to just sit down and scream and yell. But impressive what they've done without the big fella. The big fella's coming back. And Jeff, I'm with you. 1A and 1B, Purdue and UConn right now. I think that they've been the most 2 consistent teams in the country by far.
It's always good when you have 2 guys combined for 11 of 15 from the 3. Like, that certainly helps. And if anybody tries to convince me that Alex Karaban's not the illegitimate child of Mr. Bean, I would argue with you because he looks like Mr. Bean. I don't want to hear any nonsense. It's unbelievable. It's uncanny. Another thing is you throw in I think Samson Johnson has really benefited from he's gotten some elongated minutes. Obviously, Supreme Cook's a handful. He was the only guy that really played well for Georgetown today. Jaden Epps just couldn't throw it in the ocean. And he got into a little bit of foul trouble. But Samson Johnson's benefited from these elongated opportunities. And I think that's eventually going to pay off. He's been good. He was great against St. John's a few games ago. It's just one of those things where that next opportunity, and on top of that, they're still managing to win these games. It's just routine for them. And, for all of what Danny Hurley is and how theatrical he is and, his movements and how crazy he gets towards the referees, the sucker can coach. He is putting those guys in unbelievable spots. And he's just fiddling around with the rest of the Big East at times. I mean, I know they've lost one game in league, but my God, Hurley does an incredible job on top of all those theatrics, and his staff really puts together some elite game plans.
I don't think Clingan needs to come back and be the Donovan Clingan we thought he needed to be. I don't think he needs to play 30 minutes now. And I don't think he should play 30 minutes.
I don't think he will.
Samson Johnson gives him a different look, right? Like, here's what I love about this UConn team, and I've said this all year since I saw them in the preseason. And they're different than Purdue this way. First of all, they're bigger, they're stronger. They look like men. Where Purdue's guys, a lot of them just don't look like Fletcher Lord. He's 170 pounds, whatever it is. Karaban, Cam Spencer, shoot the hell out of it. We know that. Newton's a veteran. Castle gives him something completely different that those other guys don't give him, right? That athletic, big, strong defender. Like Lance Jones is a really good defender and he's older, but like Castle's big and athletic and just different than Lance Jones. Like, I just love how the pieces were put together for UConn, especially if Clingan can give you 20, 22 minutes when it matters down the stretch. If I was honestly Danny Hurley, I might put him on like a little bit of a pitch count for the next month or two. Even if he looks healthy, even if his foot looks healthy. Why? Why chance it and play him 30 minutes in any game the rest of the year? Because to me, for him and for your team, right? For him to protect him, because you want to send him to the NBA after this year. With all these foot issues this season, you want to get him to the NBA, get him drafted in the first round, hopefully, and say, hey, listen, we did the right thing for you.
Yep. Yeah, and what game did he get injured again? What game did he get injured? I'm trying to remember.
It was the
Seton Hall
game.
So that was the last game they lost, and then they've still been able to reel off 5 in a row, and it hasn't been the top. It hasn't been the top of the Big East. But all of that being said, like for them to be able to battle through those things and still continue to win, it's really impressive. And I would hold him back a little bit. Because let's be honest, like Samson Johnson can compete in that league, and he's shown that he can. Sometimes he gets out-muscled. Today he got out-muscled. I have a lot of respect for Supreme Cook because I think he's limited from a skill perspective, but the dude attacks the glass, and he's just a junkyard dog. He's going to be able to play in some of these mid-level European countries next year. Like he'll end up in like a Finland or a Belgium or something like that, just playing hard and boarding. UConn's good, man. And you talked about Purdue. It's like Purdue has one huge dude and they have a bunch of guys that are a little, depending on which spot, a little undersized. UConn's big across the board. Like when they go out to warm up, you want to talk about layup line all-stars? Like it's different. It's different. They can switch. They're big. Even Cam Spencer, like he's a big cat now. 6'3", 210? He's wide. He's strong.
He's built.
He's built.
Yeah.
And they can
build
switch
like a
so
man.
much. They can even switch with those guys. Like, they're a tough matchup, especially their size around the court, not just in the post. Like, and then you add Clingan back into the mix to compete with the Zach Edey. He's only 2 inches shorter than Zach Edey. Like, you play him head to head, I might go.
That'd be a fun matchup.
It'd be a great.
That'd be a fun matchup.
The other piece of it too is in terms of him getting 100% healthy, you look at the schedule at the end of February, beginning of March. 3 out of 5 on the road. Their road games are at Creighton, at Marquette, and at Providence. So what's the goal? To be playing your best basketball at the end of February going into March. So the goal is to have him 100% because those are 3 difficult road games that, who knows, the regular season title could come down to those last 5 games of the regular season, 3 of those on the road for them. So, yeah, there's no need to rush it, especially with how well they're playing right now. And look, he's an NBA player. He's going to get his opportunity to do that. It's not like you got to look at his numbers and say, oh, he's got to go out here and get, 30 and 20. Like, no, you just got to get him back out there and playing at a high level. So you're playing your best basketball come March.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, McCall, the idea that you got to put up big statistical numbers to be drafted high is crazy.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.